There you go, friends. Hey, Doc South here. Hey, by the way, before I get started, two or three things. We're going to do an episode of Millie's Itinerary. This one being, I believe, 9:35 in the morning. Uh, that particular segment. And I just thought I'd say I appreciate all you folks listening and checking out these tubes. These tube videos, YouTube videos. I've been doing this about a year now. I see we got about 4,500 hits, something like that. I think that's pretty good. I'm sure I'd like to see that many for one video, but well, one day maybe I'll get lucky. Meanwhile, it's my service to you, my gift, are basically me reading my stories, observations I've noticed, like that, and I hope you're finding them interesting. Please share them with your friends. That would really help. And if you haven't already subscribed, as I understand it, it's good to have a lot of subscribers. So if you can do that, gee, that would be great. One other thing, I know a lot of folks say, Doc, why don't you kind of spiff up the visual? You're just always in this room of yours. Well, this is my studio. I'm used to being a DJ on the radio, and well, there's nothing much more boring than a radio station studio. This actually has a little bit more going for it compared to some of them. Basically you just got racks of CDs all lining the wall and such, and or what we used to call 8-track cassettes, like that. So I don't know. I figure I'm here for the spoken word, not so much visual. Also, I can knock out more videos if I just do my voice, sit in one place, don't worry about setting something up. When I think of something I can do as a video, sure, I'll do it. Happy to. But most of the stories, basically, they're, it's as if it's sort of like when I was a kid and, I'd sit on my grandfather's lap as he told me a story, or sit with grandma, sit down at her feet, and she'd yak about something she did during World War I. She was a nurse back then. You get the idea. Okay. In fact, I think grandma may have served when that big epidemic hit after World War I. She was, so I don't think she went overseas to be a nurse. I remember her talking about some very, very sick people, and I'll bet you that was that huge worldwide, what would you call it, a pandemic right after World War One. There was this awful flu that killed, I guess, millions of people. And I think Grandma may have been working in a hospital that treated that stuff. So she was lucky to live too. Well, she was a lucky lady and a good person. Anyway, so let's get cranking. Again, Millie's Itinerary basically is just our daily visit. Okay. All right. So I know people have said that, but honestly, I can write stories or I can try to find a nice set. I'd rather write the stories. Okay. Yeah, I guess you could always close your eyes and listen as I tell the story. Huh? Yeah. I mean, it's a thought. And just paint the picture in your own mind. That might actually be the best thought. Anyway, Millie's Itinerary, 9:35 a.m. Again, this is a minute-by-minute account of a typical day in the life of our basset hound, Millie, who is right now taking a big fat nap. In the story, though, let's see. Oh, yeah, okay. Sandy's coming into the room with her breakfast. With not Millie's breakfast. Well, it's Sandy's breakfast. Of course, it's going to be part Millie's breakfast, too. Anyway, here we go. 9:35, Millie's Itinerary. I'm in the kitchen now thinking about that second cup of coffee I so treasure. Sandy's in there with me. She's making her own breakfast. Millie is lying on her blanket in the living room plotting her next move as she watches any one of the mid-morning girl talk shows. I think she somewhat enjoys the Wendy show, so we changed the channel for her. Try as she might, Millie simply can't figure out the remote. To her credit, at least, she's never chewed one to pieces. So, we got to do it for her. She'll sniff the air as the scent of Sandy's breakfast fills our our cottage. Sometimes Sandy will make herself a bowl of chilled fruit. If that's the case, well, Millie's nose will report the findings to her brain, causing both eyes to droop almost immediately for lack of interest. In the summer, Millie will go for a few bites of watermelon. She also loves eating blackberries right off the bushes out in the yard. Mostly, though, anything below the knees is her territory, Mostly, though, chilled fruit is to her as globs of pork fat, simmered in sauerkraut juice is to me. If it's called mangoes and pears for Sandy's breakfast, our hound's morning nap will soon be in full snore. If Wendy talks about anything that makes the inflection in her voice go up tempo, Millie's eyelids will quiver ever so slightly. The eyes might open, or they might not. Say the show breaks into a food commercial with a lot of oohs and ahs in it, or maybe a guest chef gets the audience to give out with a loud collective sigh. If anything like that happens, Millie will actually open her eyes, raise her eyebrows to full tilt. If somehow the sound of loud chewing emanates from the set, Millie will tilt her head and look around the room with her jowls in full slobber mode. Other than that, if Wendy's interviewing a celebrity with a new show coming out or a politician with an axe to grind, Millie will lie back down and get sleepier and sleepier. And there you have it. Today, Millie's in luck, though. Wendy actually has someone who runs a dog shelter, and they brought a few dogs who are up for adoption. Wendy and the audience are all oohing and eyeing. The dogs themselves are yapping away. Canine pandemonium has broken out on the set. Millie has her head up. Her eyes are open wide and she has her head tucked to one side. You know how dogs do. Okay. She's ready to start barking along with the others. Her nose is in the air trying to catch the scents from the dogs on the show. But suddenly the scent of something even better fills the room and her nostrils. As luck would have it, Sandy's making Millie's favorite human breakfast. That would be fried egg whites with just a touch of yolk scrambled into brown rice. That's it. Millie's up on all fours now. She's running in circles and barking her fool head off. Millie's circles are getting so tight around Sandy's feet that my poor wife can hardly get to her easy chair without tripping. Somehow Sandy gets to the chair and sits down and asks me to run to the kitchen to get Millie's dog plate out of the dish drainer. Millie's barking at me to put the rush on it. Sandy hollers for me to bring in the pepper too. Once all's in place and ready to go, Sandy breaks up the one yolk in her 4-egg concoction. The scent of egg yolk really fills the room now. Millie's sitting right at her plastic dish, staring at Sandy and marking her every move. Millie has turned into a highly trained food sniper. It's like I'm watching a 4-legged, lop-eared Navy SEAL waiting for the kill shot. Millie is normally a pretty slow-moving animal. That all changes if even the tiniest morsel of food drops off a spoon heading in her direction. That poor tidbit will never make it to the safety of the carpet. Yep. Anyway, good old Millie. Okay, well, there you go. I guess we're going to resume we're going to do a 9:40 tomorrow. And I hope you're enjoying. Okay, your comments are welcome on the on the YouTube video too. And please share with your friends. Maybe subscribe if you haven't done so already. Okay, that would be good. We'll see you later. Ta-ta.